Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, please do me a favor and subscribe. That would really help us out. Now, let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited. Today, I'm a comic book guy. We've got actress Camila Moreno with me. So welcome, Camila.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
You get the terrible West Virginia pronunciation of your name from me. My wife would be shaking her head. She would do it so much better. Her dad's from Mexico, and she would do much more justice to your name than me. So
well, thank you. I think you do a pretty good job.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, Camila.
I know. It's such a pretty name. Such a pretty name.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So I was so excited to talk with you because I'm a big fan of the comic book Naomi, and now I'm a big fan of your work. I know this was your first featured starring type of role, really exciting, and you're doing such a great job on there. But before we talk about all that, let's start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. Why'd you want to go into that?
It's so funny because I always say this, I think my parents were extremely surprised that I wanted to become an actor just because I was so shy growing up. I was a shy kid. It was hard for me to communicate and speak to people, not because of any disability, but because I was just very shy and an introvert. But I did, in spite of me being so shy and quiet, I did have strong opinions about things. So I remember my first, every year in school, we had to recite a poem for Spanish class. And my mom wrote this poem about the U.S. Navy being in one of our islands called Vieques in Puerto Rico. And it was a protest because we wanted the Navy to leave because it was terrible for the inhabitants of the island. And she wrote a poem about protests and all of that. But that I was like, you know what? I do want to say that out loud. I do want to speak about that. So I think me being able to communicate something really made me want to stand up and be brave and talk in front of people, maybe not to people, but in front of them. And from then on, I fell in love with, being in front of an audience and communicating an idea or saying somebody else's words. And I think from then on, I fell in love with it and decided from very young. From then on, I was like, I like this. I think I'm good at this. So I might as well make a living out of it,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So I always say that I'm an introvert as well. And podcasting has helped me overcome a lot of that, make me more comfortable. Has acting done that for you as far as if you're in a setting where it's, let's say you're at a party, has acting helped you overcome some of the introvertness, or do you still struggle with that outside of when you're on a stage, let's say?
It's funny. I still do struggle with that sometimes. Yeah, I can't say that I don't. Yeah. It's funny because I am very sociable. I like being around people and I love going out with my friends, but when I'm put in a situation where people expect me to when they expect it from me, then it's so hard. I'm like, oh my God, what should I say? What should I do? So that's more anxiety than anything else, I think. But yeah, I do struggle with it sometimes, not all the time. But yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I was really bad, especially growing up, I would go through the social situation and I might have had a really good time. But then after, I would be dissecting every single thing that I said to the point that I'd be like, why did I say that? And it was fine. It was just fine in the moment. But I drove myself crazy doing that.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. That's the worst part, I think. It's worse than like being there. It's like analyzing every little thing you said or did.
Yeah. It's like it keeps you from fully enjoying. I was always very jealous of those people that they just didn't care. They were going to have a good time. They didn't care what came out of their mouth, what happened. They were, they could do the most embarrassing thing and they would recover in a minute, where I might not recover for the rest of my life.
but then I don't get in trouble as much as other people do because I think more,
That's true. That is an advantage. That is, some would say maybe we're a little boring.
Maybe.
Well, so on the flip side of that, when you're acting, does that, does playing a character, does that let you kind of have some of that freedom that you don't necessarily have in your personal life?
Definitely. I particularly with this role, I think Lourdes is so free that I think that I get to be free as well through her. And I think she's taught me a lot about, just being very comfortable in your skin. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, Lourdes is my favorite character on the show. And I'll tell you why. You're doing a terrific job with her, for one. But so back in the 90s, when I was finishing up college, I owned comic book stores. So Lourdes is like running a comic book store or working in a comic book store.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough crowd coming.
Well, you got to know your stuff.
Yes, you do. It's like basically you're an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Of like all these characters and all these universes that you have to like stay on top of, basically.
You have to.
Yeah.
I used to stress out trying to keep up with all the different comics that were coming out. I mean, I stressed out, but also loved it too.
Yeah.
The love-hate relationship.
It's amazing. I'm still learning. Like, I have to say, I'm very new to this world, but I'm loving it so far.
Did you have to, did you go to a comic book store and do any research ahead of time, or did you just dive in?
I dove in. Really, I really did. Especially because also when I got this, I was living in LA, and LA was like basically being the epicenter of COVID at the moment. So I was so afraid to go out because I was like, I don't want to go outside because then I'll get COVID and I won't be able to shoot this pilot. But I dove in. Internet's my friend. So yeah,
that's pretty good. So when I was running stores at that time, this is 30, some years ago, it was overwhelmingly male customers, people working, it was like 99% male, which so much better now, so much more inclusive now. Yeah. But if you had like a woman working at the store or walking into the store, it was it was so creepy because you'd have like every guy in the store would do the slow horror movie turn toward the door because it was so unusual with that. Yeah. And now, no big deal. And the same thing with like conventions, so much more inclusive. You've got cosplayers, you've got, everybody's involved. And I love that. I love the fact that they put you in that role because, it's so much more representing what that situation, that profession is like now compared to what it was, like let's say when Michael Bendis was growing up. I know when he was growing up, it was the same as what I was. It was all guys. So I think that's really neat from an ex-comic book guy to kind of see how far that's come. I don't know if any of that means anything, but yeah.
Oh my God, it means so much because I mean, for the show to have like, not only is Lourdes a female running a comic book shop, but she's also a woman of color. She is Hispanic and she, she's queer as well. So that's amazing that we get to see that now because like you said, it was very male driven.
the CW and their slate of shows, but specifically their superhero series, has done a really good job, I think, slowly expanding that to where everybody could be a hero, everybody can be a major player on the show, and that's so refreshing and different from what it was even 10 years ago.
Definitely. And I'm so proud to be a part of it,
Well, you should be. That's really cool. Plus, you've got like collared hair on the show.
I know. It's so cool. I wish I could do it in real life.
You really should. Cool.
I know, but then I feel like it'll damage my hair so much that it will be impossible to get it back.
Well, so how did they do it on the show?
It's a wig.
Oh, it's a wig.
Yeah, it's a wig. They're amazing.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Yeah. They're amazing. But to get that type, like that light of a color, you have to like basically bleach your hair to white. And, doing that over and over again to maintain it for the whole season or whatever we do.
Turn it up.
It'll be very difficult to do that.
Yeah, I really like it though. It's a really good, they chose a good collar.
They really did. It's very fun and I feel like it gets me in the mood to play Lourdes.
Yeah. Because you would expect, like if they said, well, her hair's collared, the first thing I would think would be pink. And then the second one would probably be a blue. And they went it's kind of like a purple lavender type of, it's awesome.
It has like streaks of pink as well. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, it does. It does. Really. I don't really like that because it does. It's like, it fits Lourdes perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So talk a little bit about your role within the show. What do you do on the show and how are you related or interacting with Naomi?
I think my role, Lourdes' role on the show, I think it's very interesting. I think she gives Naomi a perspective on things that no one else really is able to give, because Lourdes leads such a different life than everyone else on the show. I think Lourdes is not afraid to give her opinions on things.
Yeah, she's pretty open with it. She doesn't hold back.
Exactly. And she's like, I like last episode, I hope I'm not spoiling anything.
Spoilers.
But for last episode, she was like, I'm not going to answer this question because I already told you that it's personal and I shouldn't, you're asking me this and you're insisting on knowing this information about me that I'm not really comfortable with sharing with you. And you should trust me enough as your friend to know that I'm not going to hurt you. And I think it's there's a lot of power to Lourdes and, standing her ground and saying, I'm your friend. I'll always be there for you. But this is something that I have to draw some boundaries. And I think that's I think that's great in friendships still. And every relationship that you have, like to draw boundaries.
Yeah, I agree. And a strong relationship is respectful of the boundaries that are set. And a lot of times in relationships, you have one or both parties, you're afraid to set those boundaries. And then you end up uncomfortable and it causes friction at some point where if you just set the boundary and stuff, everybody's happy.
Yes.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. So how does someone who hasn't yet had that type of role end up with that role? I mean, there's so many actors and actresses out there, with a lot of experience that they could have chosen. Yeah. And you got the part. How does that happen?
Wow. I can't answer how it happened.
I mean, they made the right choice. You're killing it.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and so grateful to everyone, especially to Ava DuVernay and Aisha Coley, who's a casting director for the show, who really gave me this chance, this opportunity to play this role and be a part of this community and family. I am an actor. That's what I most love to do in life. That's what I'm passionate about. but you know, it's with like with every job, you're like, you live with the doubt that, okay, if I don't have this much experience, then it's hard to get a job because you don't have experience, but then how are you ever going to have your first job? Because then you don't, you know, your first job is always like you're gonna have less experience than your third job.
Somebody has to take a chance on
you. Exactly. So I'm so grateful that they took a chance on me. And it's been wonderful ever since. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I also like, I think it happened to me in a moment in my life where like I was very focused on the things that I wanted. And I think I was very focused on like, I really want to be a good actor, or like, because I did go to school and all of that, but there's also training that you have to do on your own, you know, just because you graduate school doesn't mean that your training stops. You know, you have to keep studying from different sources, even if it's just like watching movies and like really watching the actors in it and how they like work or interact, or, you know, so I think I put it into the universe and it happened. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing. So what's your process? How do you prepare for a role? You know, do you prefer are you memorizing, or do you prefer to have a little more control, you know, where you can improv a little bit? You know, how do you kind of to get into character?
I mean, I think for me, I always like take the text is what I lead with. Whatever's on the page, I will take and I will, you know, do the best that I can with it and like study it deeply, and, you know, assume the given circumstances, whatever they are, but as well, like you get a lot from your peers and your like your co-stars and the actors that you work with. So I think with the process of being an actor, at least for me right now at this moment in my life, I think it'll always vary depending on like who you're working with, what kind of text you're doing, what kind of show you're doing. I think it'll always vary. I think I like to be, you know, very open to everything, and I don't know, just like I like being curious. I think that's my main like form of it may sound vague,
I think that's a really good asset as an actor, to be curious.
I like being curious and, you know, ask myself a lot of questions and, you know, ask myself, you know, what do other characters perceive this human being as, you know? Because that also affects you as a human being. Is like, you, even whether we like it or not, we are always aware of how people see us and how people perceive us. And that's
true.
Depending on that, you do, that changes how you carry yourself through the world. So I just ask a lot of questions.
I think that's a good way to do it. So when did you audition remotely, or were you actually in the room?
Remotely.
Yeah, I figured with COVID and stuff. So do you prefer it that way because you have more control, so you can kind of decide, you know, which take you want to go with, but also you've got more control, which isn't always a good thing because you could drive yourself crazy trying to get the perfect take, and you don't get any feedback while you're in the room. So which do you prefer?
You know, I think now, because I haven't auditioned in person for such a long time now, like now everything's on through self-tapes. I've fallen in love with the process of doing self-tapes precisely because you can control a lot of it, and you can, you know, most of the time you can control your environment, depending on where you live. I live in a very noisy place. Oh my God, it's sometimes hard, but I really think that I've fallen in love with auditioning through self-tapes and videos. But there's also the magic of auditioning in person, where like you actually have you actually have a person, and the person that you once or could cast you is actually in front of you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they give you some direction. You might try it a certain way, and they'll say, "Okay, now try it this way," and then it's that second one that actually lands you the role.
Yeah. And like with self-tapes, like anything could happen. Like they could see you and maybe like immediately after seeing what you look like, they may be like, "Oh no, she's not right for this," and like just not watch your tape. That could also happen.
I think that's the disadvantage, because they're much more likely, I think, I've never been through it, but I think more likely to move on and not give you a little bit of a chance, where if you're in front of them, they might be thinking, well, she doesn't seem right for the role for me, but let's see what happens. And they give you, and then they're like, oh my gosh, that's her. So I think that's the disadvantage, but the advantage, definitely being able to do it until you're really satisfied with the job you did.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You go in and you flubbed the first one, you don't get another shot. If you're remote, you just redo it.
Exactly. I just redo it. I'm like, okay, I'll get it the best that I can. And I also like ask for, if I'm ever doubtful, like I ask for opinions. Like, do you think this is good? Do you think I should do it again? So that's also a great thing.
Who's your scene partner when you're doing it remotely? Who helps you out or prepares for it?
My boyfriend, who's also an actor, so that's wonderful.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, good. I was going to give him big kudos, but he's an actor, so that's actually really good. Yeah, so he gets a little kudos.
Yeah, he's a great coach as well. So like he'll be like, good. No, I don't believe you. He'll be like, no, you need to do it again. I'm like, thank you, because I trust his vision as well.
So how do you, if you have a scene where you have to get emotional, how do you handle that? What gets you in the mindset for that? Or are you one of those that can just turn it off and on?
You know what? It's funny, because I was actually talking to my boyfriend about this the other day. I was like, it's so like, I used to be able to like really do it really quickly, but because I was constantly doing it, like I was having these like roles where I was like constantly like crying, but I think it's actually a muscle that you have to develop as well. So like I sometimes have to recur to, it depends on the day, honestly, for me. Like you can either assume the given circumstances, put yourself in that position and let that work. And if you listen, like chances are that it will do something for you. But other times, your brain is just not there, and we're human beings. So, sometimes, I don't know, you have to hope for the best and like listen, get in the mood. I mean, maybe recur to, something that happened. But, I think it changes from time to time.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think, from the outside looking in, you're not the only one on the cast that's just getting started, and this is not new, but the role, the level of the role is fairly new. But the cast, I don't know if that's part of it, but the cast really seems to have good chemistry. Is that actually true? Behind the scenes, are you guys really getting along?
Yeah, we really do. They're all. What's funny about this, not funny, but like so great. And I guess funny because we're all sort of the same way in that sense, is that like, they're all good people. And like, they're people that are like easy to work with, easy to talk to, easy to hang out with. Like they're just, and what a better way to start getting known and like to get your first big role than with awesome, amazing people that are, starting out and that are like good human beings. So we do get along very well. And they're all so funny.
Good. That helps with that. So did you do any like cast bonding? Did you hang out any offset when you were first getting going?
Yes. We went to a football game.
Oh, nice.
A soccer game.
Yeah.
In Spanish, we say football.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. We went to a soccer game. We went rock climbing, eating. We went to get pizza. So we do hang out sometimes outside of.
That's good. I think that helped. Kind of draw the cast together. We were lucky enough to talk with Mary Charles. She came on the show a week or two ago, and she was just terrific. And that's what she said. She said that the cast was really great to work with, and that you guys kind of bonded offset. So that's cool.
She's so funny. Like they're all funny. Yeah, but they're
she's
great.
actually had, like, she was doing this at a pretty young age. She's had a little bit of experience coming up, which, you know, for as young as she is, that's unusual.
Yeah.
But then what we talked to her about was that transition. You got to transition from the kid roles to more adult roles, and sometimes that's not easy. But she does a great job with it.
Yeah. She's amazing.
So is there, now that you've got your feet wet and you're on television, you know, what kind of roles are you looking for in the future? Is there a different genre that you'd like to try? You know, what are you kind of open to?
You know, I'm really open to so much. There's really like nothing that I wouldn't do in terms of like genres. I just love acting. So the mere opportunity of like getting to portray a human being different than me is just very appealing to me, and I love that idea. But for some reason, I've always wanted to play a boxer, and I always say it's like, but it's true. Like I want to play
Right, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I would play like a very tough athlete, like a boxer, or like someone very brave that I don't know, like I'm very attracted to the idea of playing like a woman that doesn't, I don't know, and it seems very superficial or whatever, but like doesn't wear makeup or like doesn't really like just very
Didn't Halle Berry just play a boxer in a movie? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that maybe.
That's really like appealing to me, and I've always wanted to do it. And also I would love to like go through the training process of like,
because you get the benefit of getting in shape.
That'd be amazing. But like I love drama, I love comedy. I would love to do a period piece.
That'd be really good. Maybe a Western too. Because you can do period piece and Western, that both would fit together. But you need to, if you do a Western, you need to be the gunslinger.
Oh my God, please.
Yes.
Or the tumble of weeds.
Were you athletic growing up? Did you play sports?
No, not really. I haven't. I didn't play sports. I now exercise a lot because I feel like it helps me like my mental health, and it helps my anxiety, and like just makes me feel overall better. So I do exercise a lot. So I think I've become I'm starting to become an athlete. Not maybe not in sports, but like I don't know. Like I just really enjoy training.
Are you boxing? What kind of exercise are you doing?
I do weights.
Nice.
And I do like different kinds of cardio and things like that. But I love hiking. I really want to do boxing here.
A lot of people are doing kickboxing now.
It seems very fun.
I've always thought so too. That's I'm not the most coordinated, but I'll give it a go. I know I'd be better at the boxing part. The kicking, I would struggle with the kicking. No, it's good. It's really good. So outside of acting, are you creative in other ways?
I like to think so. I mean, I love, before becoming like going to school for acting, I actually wanted to go to school for visual arts. Nice. I actually took a test to get into art school, and I passed it. But that's then awesome. At this, like, I think a day after I got accepted, I got a call from theater school
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you also got in here. And I was like, I think I want to act. But yeah, I really love drawing, and I'm not the best drawer by any means. But it's something that I really enjoy, like being creative with my hands. And
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I've found that a lot of talented, creative people, they're normally, they do more than one thing creatively.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you draw. Do you paint?
I don't paint. I actually started last year. You know, I don't know how to say that word, experimenting with like paint. And I love it. It's really, I should keep doing it. And I do mosaics.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah. They're like pieces of art with like glass.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. And I really enjoy doing that. Yeah.
How did you get into that? Because that's, what made you choose that? Because that's different. I like that.
Yeah. So in high school, there's this teacher who taught us. And I really fell in love with it. I was like, I remember like being so jealous about my piece. I was like, no one can help me because this is mine. And I really found a liking to it. And I took it very seriously, and I still have like my tools, and I go to the shop and get glass every once in a while and get like my wood.
That's nice.
Piece of wood, and yeah. So it's wonderful. I think it's very therapeutic as well. And in the end, you get a beautiful piece of art that you get to like hang up.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and then you get the satisfaction when somebody comes in and be like, "Oh, I love that. Where'd you get that?" Be like, "I did that."
I did it.
So have you ever done theater, or would you like to try that at some point?
That's actually how I started.
That's what I figured.
Theater. Yeah. I started doing theater in college, and then I went on to acting school in NYU, and I did an MFA in acting. And there, we mostly did theater. But yeah, I basically graduated, and then I basically immediately booked Naomi. So
I know, that's awesome. That's crazy. Yeah. So do you sing, or are you doing musicals as well?
I do. I can sing. I've never done a musical.
Really?
Yeah, no, but that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. We gotta. That's right. We gotta hook that up. See. I think so. Okay. So here's my pitch. This is the project that we'll develop together. All right. So you're a comic book shop owner, but you box on the side because you're not making enough as a comic book store owner. So you're boxing on the side to kind of make ends meet. Maybe you're taking care of your family. Who knows? Mm-hmm. We'll figure that out. But you fall into solving crime.
Yes. And then my boxing coach is actually a music producer who discovers me singing while singing. And then I get to do they sign me, and I sign a record deal, and then I become very famous as a singer.
This is taking some twists and turns, but I like it. I think it's a hit.
I like it. I think it's a hit. Yeah.
I think it's a hit. We're going to workshop that.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific. So, Camila, thank you so much. This has just been the best. I knew it would be. I'm such a fan, and I know you have so much more ahead of you. Are we going to get a season 2?
We'll see.
You have to, don't you? There's more stories to tell.
Yes, I agree. I think it's such a good show, and we'll see.
Yeah. Don't you think it's neat that this particular show, Naomi, that character, she's only been around a couple of years. Most of the CW shows, those are the heroes that have been around forever.
Yeah.
But this one, she's brand new. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the story is very, it's a good story, and I think it's very relatable.
Yeah.
Not only to teenagers, but to people of all ages. Yeah. So it would be amazing.
Yeah, you need a season 2. for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Have you went back and read some of the comic books?
Of
Naomi?
No. I mean, I read season 1. I have to read season 2. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think season 2's the new one, right? Like in the comics.
It just came out. Yeah.
Yeah. She did her she was hopping around to like the Justice League and different things. And now she's back in her own book.
I love her.
I know.
I always root for her. That's the thing. I love this character because I feel like you cannot not root for her, you know?
So, or maybe you don't know, but in comic books, a lot of times the friends of the hero find that, at some point something happens and they get powers. So if Lourdes gets a power, what superpower would you want?
I would love to teletransport.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's so convenient.
It's very convenient.
Solve problems. Yeah.
You could solve a lot of problems, but there's also, you could use that for evil too.
Yes. Which you might have to be evil at some point in life. You never know.
You never know. That's a good one. Not enough people say that one, because that one, how handy would that come in?
Yeah.
You teleport in somewhere. What if maybe you're not really a thief, but you really like ice cream. So you're teleporting in after hours and getting you some ice cream. And if you get caught, you just teleport out.
Exactly.
I would be a lame thief. That's how I'm using the power. I'm stealing ice cream.
Hey, if you need ice cream, you need it.
That's true.
There's no fighting it.
No, I think it's understandable. I don't even think they could lock you up for that. They'd be like, I get it. Yeah, it's true. I get it. I understand. So, Camila, thank you so much for doing this. Couple of little things before you go. Anything else that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
I can't really speak on that right now, but I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming.
All right. So that leads to my second one. Where can we find you on social media? And I'm assuming that once something happens that you can talk about, you'll let us know on there.
I'm actually on Instagram as the Camila Moreno. It's THE Camila Moreno, my name. I'm not really big on social media. I still don't have a Twitter, but that might be coming.
No, but you're on Instagram. I found you on there.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Yeah. So is that true? Will you let us know when you can talk about
course.
Things? Yeah. See, and then you have to come back when something comes up. Then you got to come back.
Yes. Oh my God, totally.
Yeah.
We're friends now.
We're buddies now. We're going to be working on stuff together.
Yes, please. That movie. Looking forward to it.
See, now that I know that that's a wig you're wearing, that just opened up all the doors for me. Now I can go out for whatever role that I want.
Yes. Movie magic.
I could have the purple pink hair.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would, but that might be interesting.
I agree. Yeah. Why not?
I will say this last thing before I let you go. When I contact, I'm normally contacting your people, agents, publicists, managers and stuff.
Yeah.
But you answered me directly. And I was like, all right. So you went up like a couple levels with me. I was like, that's big.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes. That was pretty cool. I appreciated you doing that.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, this has been so much fun. Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh, I am such a fan of hers. If you're not watching Naomi, do yourself a favor and check it out. She is outstanding on that. I think she brings just a real love for acting to the role. She just does a really good job. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. At some point in the future, we'll try to have her back on. Just a really talented young lady. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. I don't take you for granted. Really appreciate that. There's a billion podcasts out there, but you keep coming back to us, and that means so much. If you haven't done so yet, you can help us out. It's father and son team, little small town in West Virginia. we're trying to grow, we're trying to get bigger. You could help us out by subscribing, especially to our YouTube channel, MeisterCon Pod. Give us a subscription. We would really appreciate that. You can find all 360 or 70 episodes, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. If we are doing something in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, all that will be on the website, meistercon.com. And there's also a really fun, geeky blog that Brett does. He's a fantastic writer. I guarantee you'll like that. So check that out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.